like you're supposed to have it all together, but inside you're wondering how everyone else makes it look so easy, you're not alone. This is Southern Sisters, a place for women who want to grow without the guilt, find purpose in the messy middle, and be reminded that you were made for more. Make sure you stick around. We always save the bloopers for the end. Welcome to our episode of Southern Sisters. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad to be back. Welcome to season 2 of our podcast. We are so excited. We really missed each other.
We did. Even though we've seen each other, we've missed chatting like this. Mm-hmm. And we've heard from some of you that you guys are missing us, and that makes us feel so good. So thanks for that feedback.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to just jump right in. For our icebreaker question today, we are going to ask the sisters, what have we been up to for the last 2 months? Because we haven't technically recorded since the beginning of July.
Whoa. It's a long time.
So what's everybody been up to? Where are we at? I'll start. Because inquiring minds want to know. We sent our oldest daughter off on her mission. Kate, you know, she was in a previous episode with us. She is now gone. She's out west, and she will be in California in September. So September starts next week. September is Monday. So
goodness, crazy.
It's crazy how fast this year has gone by. We had the best summer. We went on lots of vacations. We went and supported my son Luke for his Junior Olympics in Dallas. That was a lot of fun. We went to Universal Studios. We did a Disney cruise in June. Like, it was just we just soaked up all the time together. That's where we're at. And now school has started, and we're trying to figure out the rhythms for that. So that's where we're at.
Yep. Well, for us this summer, we got to go to Arizona, and my brother got married, so that was really exciting, and it was cool to go see the desert. It's definitely a different type of heat out there, and honestly, I think I would rather much prefer humidity over dry. Like, some people might think I'm crazy, but I do. And we went to Cocoa Beach in Florida with some friends, so that was really fun. And then my daughter started school July 31st, which was crazy to think about. I know, but
Jeez.
They usually start like the first week in August, so it's not like that big of a difference. But for some reason, it felt so much earlier. But she started 2nd grade this year, so I'm really excited for her. She's at a new school. And she already knew some girls at that school, thankfully. So she's got her little friends. And I cannot believe that we are almost in September.
I know. Because
September 3rd is Josh and I's anniversary. It'll be 9 years for us.
Aw, congrats.
Yes. And
That's crazy.
And then later in September, Brody turns 5. Which is also crazy. And then I'm sure you guys know, after September, once we start hitting October, like,
it just goes to
the year
Christmas.
just
Takes
it's
off.
gone.
Yeah,
basically.
it is gone.
So
That's awesome.
lots of stuff to look forward to.
I feel like after y'all's, mine's depressing.
It's not depressing. It's life. Just go.
We also went, I feel like we are in the season right now of rest. We were living our best life, and then Kennedy one Saturday morning, when we had all these plans to do stuff as a family, she passed out in the morning when I was like reading them both a book, and then she like 45 minutes later had a really big seizure. And so we rushed her to the hospital, and then she had another one in the hospital. It was really scary. So we've sort of been on child watch and dealing with how this looks new in our life. So we have been on one trip, but we've got a couple things. We leave a week from today, actually, to go to Punta Cana as a family, which I'm really excited about. And we need this desperately. It's been a while since we've done anything. And with all the heavy and hard things that we've been going through, I feel like we need this bad. So I'm really looking forward to this and figuring out how life looks different now. So that's sort of what we've been doing. Courtney, what have you been doing?
We didn't really go anywhere this summer. Jared had camps. The kids had camps. Atticus had camps. I just stayed home.
Worked like
Sometimes
crazy.
it's like that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it when it's like that, actually.
my stuff to look forward to is coming up in the next couple months. So
That's great.
I'm going to have some good trips to go on. And I started training a salesperson at work, which has been a lot of training, and
But we'll be great in the end.
Brooklyn started kindergarten, and so I don't have like my 5-year-old helper at home with the twins. So we've just been like, doing all the fun toddler stuff. And so funny because so many of the things I do are centered around like the older kids having fun. And then when you don't have that anymore and you could just like go to a playground and they're fine, I'm like, this is kind of nice. I could just go across the street with 2-year-olds and they're like the happiest ever.
Totally. Low maintenance.
That's awesome.
So it's been good.
I think that's great. All right, let's jump into our first segment. We are doing today Evie's Pop Culture Corner. So what do you think, Evie?
All right, so I was scrolling on Instagram for this one, not TikTok. And I came across this headline, and it was Snoop Dogg. So this is a People magazine headline, and it says, Snoop Dogg says he's scared to see children's movies due to LGBTQ plus representation, as he asks, we have to show that at this age? So basically, he was on a podcast and he was talking about how he had gone to take his grandson to see the Lightyear movie. And there was some LGBTQ representation in the movie, which led to his grandson having some questions about that. And he just basically told his grandson, look, like, hey, just watch the movie, And so I just wanted to ask you guys, like, what are your thoughts on children's movies these days? What do you think we can do to prepare our kids for the types of things that they're basically being, like, forced to be exposed to?
Yeah, stuff we weren't exposed to when we were younger either. It's like you could live in a bubble back then. I wish it were still like that. But I feel like we are really protective over what our kids watch. And we watch almost everything before. And I read all the like parent blogs of stuff before we watch them. And it makes me sad that it has to be that way, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we do everything we can to give our kids the space to figure out who they are before the world tells them who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really matter, like, who you love. Like, you love who you love. That is not the issue. It's the exposure to all these things that can just, they don't know about. It's like, just keep it to things they know, like good versus evil. Like, it doesn't have to be, in this instance, it feels like it's more of a push. Like, it's more of a
agenda.
Someone trying to put their agenda on little kids. And that's not the way. Just keep them. I just think that it's important that we keep them from having to deal with the heavy of the world.
Yeah.
I also think that all of that whole situation, I don't think you should have to talk to your kids about that before they're old enough to understand. Yeah. If I have a 5-year-old and I haven't had the talk with them, I shouldn't have to have the talk with them because of a movie that they watched.
Right.
And
I think like sometimes it's not even about age. It's about like,
maturity.
You know your own child. Like not every 5-year-old is on the same level as maturity as, a certain kid. And I think that it's Hollywood basically like they're taking away the parents' right and the parents' like power to decide when it is appropriate to have those conversations with the kids that we raise them. Like we know what they can handle.
Here's the problem that I have with that is there was actually a recorded interview with this team of people. And I can't remember if it was this movie or if it was another one. I feel like it was this movie, but it was Disney executives that were talking about the fact that they were trying to put as much in there as possible in all the movies coming out. That's the problem that I have.
Yeah.
They literally were recorded saying, we're trying to fill it with all of this representation in as many movies as possible. And to be honest, I feel like it's done the business and the company harm. Some of these movies that are coming out, our parents know. and it is affecting their sales. It's affecting the popularity. And it makes me really sad. So it's not like it's just a conspiracy theory that we're like pretending they're just pushing an agenda. No, they've literally said,
Yeah.
we're pushing an agenda on purpose. That's what breaks my heart. I'm like,
Yeah.
keep kids as innocent, innocent as long as possible.
I will tell you this, that what I've noticed from raising 5 kids is that they don't know the differences in us. Kids do not notice the difference in other children or other people unless you point it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy to me. I had one of my children in 3rd grade. They talked a lot about racism and segregation, which are all very good things to be aware of and to know about. And it helps us be better as a people. But they never looked at the color of skin until after they had that year in school.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what do you do? What do you think?
Well, it was weird because whenever Snow White came out, there was word on the street that it was like it had a bunch of stuff in it like that. I mean, that's what our friends talked about. Like, they were like, no, we're not taking our kids to see that because it's Disney and it's new. And
Yeah. And they're pushing stuff.
and then I, went to go see it with Chloe, and it was amazing. Like, we had such a
Beautiful.
great time. It was beautiful, and there was, it was all normal. So I was just really, if there's nothing that was in it that if it wasn't like specifically pointed out, that you would notice anything.
Well, they got a lot of backlash and changed a lot.
Yeah.
So when they started talking about stuff, they had to change a bunch because people were like freaking out.
Yeah. And
Which
That's probably where the
I'm
rumors
proud of.
came from.
Yeah.
a lot of it also had to do with like the lead actress.
Oh, yeah,
and
being
things
canceled
that
and- yeah.
she was saying. But one thing that I do as well that Lindsay mentioned is I like to go online and I like to look up like, why is this movie PG-13? Why is this movie PG? And I don't remember the exact website, but there's a website and it will literally tell you like, because of violence, this, and then you can click on each category and it'll tell you the scene, like exactly what happens in the scene. And so I'm so thankful for things like that, that I can go.
And a little plug, because we have loved this in our house. If you've never heard of Vid Angel, VID Angel, ANGEL, it's one of our favorite things for our family because you can go through, they have so many movies on there, but you can go through and take out all of the swear words, all of the everything. So if there's a movie that's rated R or PG-13, you can go through and make it completely safe for your kids. And it tells you exactly what it is. It'll take out references. It'll take out certain words. It'll take out taking the Lord's name in vain. Like all of these different things you can pull out of the movie. And it's amazing because you get to choose what you expose your kids to.
But what about the creative artistry of the person who...
They can have their creative artistry. I get to protect my kids.
I love it. All right. That was a great discussion, I think. And we will have a link to VidAngel in the show notes if you want to check it out. All right. Well, let's jump into our topic today. So when we were thinking about what we wanted to talk about for season 2, I kind of put feelers out on social media, and the thing that came back most was mom guilt.
Oh, that's sad.
People want to hear our take on mom guilt and what we think about it. So that's why we're here, to talk about our thoughts and feelings and I guess our perspective on mom guilt and what that means in our life and how that shows up. So I wanted to ask, when do you feel mom guilt the most?
Well, let's talk about the obvious ones. When we lose it on our kids, or we just are overstimulated and are like, just leave me alone. That time. Usually when we do stuff for ourselves. What are some other ones?
Yeah.
I feel mom
rapid
guilt when I
fire.
travel.
I feel mom guilt when I travel. Not anymore, but I used to.
I don't.
I used to. I don't now.
No.
Like, bye.
Yeah.
It's not crippling, but it is there, just kind of nagging at the back of my head.
When you
Come
have
on.
fun.
Rapid
without
fire.
them.
Say it again.
Mom
So when
guilt.
you have fun without them.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh my goodness. So whenever I was thinking about mom guilt, I started feeling mom guilt because I had to think about when I feel mom guilt. But one of the times that I feel mom guilt is whenever I haven't spent quality time with my kids. Like if I put other things ahead of spending time with them, especially like if they're asking to spend time with me and I'm like, no, like mommy's doing this right now, or, you know, maybe later. And then the day goes on and I never spent that time with them. And then another thing, I was actually talking to Courtney about this last time we got together, but sometimes I get mom guilt when I feel like I'm being too hard on my oldest, just because I know what it feels like to be one of the older ones. Like, especially like in my household growing up, it was 2 girls are the oldest. And so we were kind of expected more from us, especially when it comes to helping my mom. And so I try really hard to reflect on how I would feel growing up, like just always feeling like things weren't necessarily fair, you know, with how the younger ones get treated about things. And so I try to remind myself, like, you know, she's only 7 years old. Like, I need to chill out. Like, because she's so mature for her age. And she's very smart. And so sometimes I have to remind myself, like, you know, she's a 7-year-old. You know, she's still a kid.
Also, as you have other children, it always makes the oldest seem older because they're not a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Court, what do you think? When do you feel mom guilt?
I feel mom guilt whenever I hear or see other people being really good moms.
Comparison is a thief of joy, Courtney.
No,
true.
Lindsay's like, I watch everything before my kids do, and I read everything before my kids do. It's important, and we have so much control over what our children watch. And I'm like, really? Do you? Because I don't feel like I do all the time. So
It's only because I'm more controlling than you.
I
It's
was like,
fine.
good job, Lindsay. My kids are screwed. Just kidding. No, my mom guilt, it comes up a lot when I'm working. So like, I know I can't work and focus if I haven't like done something with the kids. So like afternoons are the best for me because I've been able to spend time with the kids in the morning. But then I'm like trying to, you know, run on nothing, and I'm doing something fun with the kids in the morning so that I can work in the afternoon. And I'm like, this isn't right. I'm exhausted. I can't run with the kids all morning and then work all afternoon
well.
and then come home and do bedtime. And it's just so hard. But it's like, if I don't give them attention, I used to say that like I'd pretend like I was just like a mom with like a side job and not be like, no, this is like, you know, I had a desk from Walmart, you know, in the corner of our guest room for the longest time. And Jared was like, when are you going to like buy a real desk? Like, when are you going to like have a desk that isn't like your laptop? It's as big as like your laptop and a mouse, you know, and then
That makes it real.
like for 5 years, you know, like I was like, it's just my side,
Courtney's
just my
like,
side hustle.
Courtney's
whatever.
like building this empire and with this little tiny desk.
Yeah, it just was like, maybe I should start taking myself more seriously and stop pretending that I am not working. Yeah. I don't know why there's shame in providing for your family, but
There shouldn't
it's it's crazy. But
I think there's shame for moms that work and moms that stay at home. And we have society saying like, oh, like you're a stay-at-home mom, like, oh, you don't help out with finances. But then whenever moms do get a job, oh, you're a working mom, like you don't spend time with your kids.
yeah.
And I just think that's a huge thing that plays into moms having guilt, is like what society tells us about ourselves.
Yeah, and sometimes I see somebody doing something and it's just so obvious how important it is and how good they're doing at it. And I'm like, should I be doing that? When do I have time to do that? Like when, like your journey is not going to look the same
No.
as every mom's. Like they're going to be homeschooling and, you know, reading to their kids, and you're going to be just trying to get by some seasons, you know?
And every season is different.
Yeah, it is. So
I found this. So there's a lady I follow on social media. Her name's Michelle Gifford. She's like a social media strategist. And I loved what she said. She was talking about a client of hers who was worried that spending time on her business would take away and ruin her kids. And she said, we spend a lot of time worried that one wrong move towards a business will ruin our children. But maybe, just maybe, Your business is the exact thing that will give you the freedom, energy, and joy that will make you the best mom for your kids. She said, maybe, just maybe, it's not only okay for you to have something else besides motherhood, but it's good for your kids that you have something else besides motherhood. Motherhood is how you love, not just what you do. So we grew up believing that there are only a few roles that were acceptable for mothers. Motherhood is one of them for women. So motherhood is one of them, the one most deeply ingrained, the one we're told to strive for. But what happens when you want to be a mother and a podcaster, a business owner, a coach, whatever your dream may be? Suddenly it feels like you're threatening the only identity you've been told you're allowed to have. You feel guilty for wanting something more, so you shrink back, stop growing, and stay put. But these things that you feel, they're not going to leave you alone. When I was making the decision to homeschool my kids, I was worried because you guys know I do a lot of side things. Like, I don't do any one thing. I do a lot of side things. And I'm like, when am I going to have time to do that? And I was talking with a good friend, and she was like, Megan, they need to see you building your business. That's part of their education, is to see the journey that you're going on to learn how to do and see all of these things. It's so important. When I was thinking about mom guilt, I was reminded of a story from my kids. So this was years and years ago, but I have two sons that are close in age. And one day I get a call from my friend who lives close to the school. And she was like, hey, Megan. I was like, hey, how's it going? She's like, I need to tell you something. And I was like, oh no. One of
Never
those
good.
times. I'm like, what happened? She goes, you know those sweet Boston boys you got? And I was like, yes. And she goes, this morning I was outside in my driveway and I saw them coming down the road going to school. And your younger son, my middle kid, had his eyes closed, and he was just riding his bike with his eyes closed. And my good friend was like, hey, McKay, your eyes are closed. And McKay's response was, don't worry, Miss Gigi. Luke's telling me where I need to go. And
It's like the version of a trust fall, but on a bike.
yeah, not a good idea. But I was thinking about that story, and I was like thinking about how often are we parenting with our eyes closed, and we're just listening to the things, we're letting the world tell us how we should mom.
Yes.
And feel that guilt. Guys, straight up, that's the adversary. Trying to make us feel less than, trying to make us feel like we're not enough. And that's wrong.
I got a story about this one 2 years ago. I had just had Caleb, and I own a travel agency. And so travel is part of my job. And so my husband is always super supportive. Like, he has been great. It doesn't mean that the mom guilt stopped, but he's like, you need to do this for your business. It's great for your business to connect with your agents, to go to these places, to go to these conferences. It's really great. So he was always great with the kids. It was never that. It was still the feeling that I was having. And so 3 months after Caleb was born, there was this opportunity that we needed to go do. And it was with my business partner, Kim. And so I remember feeling like, how in the world could I leave my baby 3 months? Like, what am I going to do? I need to pump. I need to do all this stuff to make sure that he has enough food. And so I did all this stuff to prepare. And I'm like, that feels too fast. Like, what if something happens? So I was in a foreign country and literally pumping all the time. And I remember taking these bags of milk to these Jamaican guys and being like, can you store these in your freezer? Like, it was this whole huge ordeal. But the first day that I got there, I crawled into bed and I slept for the first time since having that baby the whole night through. And when I crawled into bed, I woke up like 9 hours in the exact same position that I went to sleep in. And I realized, because Caleb was born with a cleft palate, and it was really stressful. It was really stressful. And every time he ate, he would choke on nothing all the time. It was like trying to keep him alive for a year. And it was really, really hard. And so going on that trip filled me unlike any other trip that I've been in, just to get away and just to have a moment to rebuild myself as a mom and a woman and a wife. And so from that moment on, I decided that every time I went out of town, that I was going to better myself. So when I came back, and so I would stop feeling guilty. So when I came back, I was ready to grab the kids and put everybody to bed so Adam had a break. I was ready to snuggle everyone and talk to everyone. And I decided that I was going to pray and read my scriptures while I was gone, that I was going to journal, that I was going to think about my goals and the things that I wanted to accomplish in my life. I was going to talk to God more and to feel like I could listen without being interrupted 17 times. And from that moment on is when my mom guilt stopped, because I'm like, okay, if this is something I have to do for my business, I'm going to make it so it's the most productive ever for me. So when I come back home, I feel renewed. And so it's something that I look forward to. Doing those things has allowed me to be able to take my children back to those foreign countries that we're about to go do soon. Like I am able to do more with my kids because I take those opportunities to better my business. And ever since then, it changed something in me. Like having to do that and feeling all this guilt for leaving. I'm like, you know what? We are meant to be better women. We're meant to follow the purposes we have in our lives. And so many of us crush that because we think we're supposed to be something else. But what if we are supposed to be that thing that we feel so bad about, right? What if we're supposed to step into this person that's bigger than what we even imagine? And what if that is supposed to teach our daughters and our sons to be able to go after their dreams and the things that they're meant to do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you think about like the most successful woman you know that's really made a big impact and inspired you, like, what if they decided to just give in to all their mom guilt and just stay home?
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't make that impact on the world and have kids, you know, and be a mom. Just this morning, Atticus was like, he's my 10-year-old. He was like, I was sitting at my computer, putting in a million applications and just doing work, wrapping up stuff for the end of the month. And he's like, hey, Mom. He asked me some question that was like, can I have something? Right? Like something that was like, I literally turned to him and I was like, Atticus, do you think I want to be working on my computer at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning? And he's like, no. I'm like, well, could you just let me, like, just give me a minute, please? And he's like, okay. And then he leaves. And then all of this, like, guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. I'm like, why do you have to be so mean to your kids? Why do you have to be such a mean mom? Why do you have to work? Come on. Like, it's just
when you say hush brain.
Yeah, it's just the noise. The noise you just have to turn off and just not listen to it, because it's going to come, it's going to be there. Yeah. It's just a matter of listening to it or not.
Yeah, I think when those things come up, what I have chosen to do now, like if I'm feeling guilty for not giving my daughter enough attention, it's probably for a reason. So instead of being like beating myself up, which does nobody any good whatsoever, I say, okay, mental note, I need to pay attention to her when I get done with doing what I'm doing. When I have a minute, she's my top priority. So I think it's important to listen to what you're feeling and thinking, and you're like, oh, because there are some times that I'm like, get upset at my kids for like, you are interrupting. You are on purpose and you know what you're doing. I don't feel bad about some of those times because they have had enough attention and they're just interrupting to interrupt, right? But there are some times that I'm like, oh, okay, make a mental note. I actually do feel bad about that because I haven't given her what she needed. So let me do that and make sure to come back fully embracing her and hugging her and whatever.
I really love that, because sometimes guilt just tears you down, but guilt is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Like it can be
helpful,
a catalyst for you to make a change.
I had one of my kids come up to me a few weeks ago and was just like, because they all think this. They're like, you know, like I know you work hard and stuff, but you're always on a screen. Mm-hmm. You're always on a screen, Mom. I wish you didn't work so much. You're always on a screen. Mm. And my response to her was, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this season feels like that right now. Like, this is a really busy time because I'm helping my mom's financial services industry set up a bunch of AI bots that we can use. That's going to hopefully make my job easier down the road. But right now, that's not it. And my husband's chiropractic office has been changing who's at the front desk. And so I've had to go and help a little bit more. And so I have not been around like I usually am. And it's kind of like what Lindsay says, like you take the piece from it that is productive and you say, this person feels like I am not seeing them because I'm on a screen.
Right.
And I say, I will try harder to make space for that. It's not that I say that, but my initial response to this child was also like, do you like getting to do volleyball?
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Do
go
you
on
like
trips.
this vacation that we just got back from? Like,
Yeah.
do you like having these perks in life? Because the days of being able to survive on a single income for a family, it's really there. It's not often that people can do that.
Yes.
It's a blessing. if
So
you can.
everybody has to do their part. And I said, so if you want to keep doing that stuff, then I'm going to have to do this. And
I just thought about like whenever we're in the summer, the kids are like, you work all the time. You're always on your computer.
You're like, you're never here.
And then when they go to school and they're at school all day, like they don't see me when
Yeah.
I'm working.
Yeah.
But like if they're homeschooled, it's all the time.
It's all the
They
time.
think you work all the time.
all the time.
It's
And
crazy.
it's really hard too
Oh, that would
because
suck.
I'm at a point in my life where I have small kids and I have teenagers, and the teenagers never sleep at night. They all want to stay up and party. And I love that because that's when you talk to teens.
Yeah.
So we have to have that space, but my small children still get up early. So I was laughing because somebody was saying like, you need to just carve out a time of quiet. And I'm like,
There's no peace.
in theory, that would be wonderful. But I also have a child who just left home.
Yeah.
And I recognize that this season is not forever.
Yeah.
And that I need to have the teen talk at midnight. And I need to have the toddler time in the morning because that's when they are able to
They
get their
talk.
schoolwork done the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
It's not very long at all.
It's
Like a part of your life.
no.
Well, it's the same no matter what season you're in. I think this is really important as a mom. Whatever season you're in, it goes by quicker than you think. Whether it's sleepless nights and you have a baby who's waking up every 3 or 4 hours, whether it's teenagers that stay up way too late and then kids that get you up in the morning. I remember feeling like, will we ever get to sleep a full night again? I remember that feeling, and sometimes you cry to yourself and you're like, please, I just need a full night.
The first night we brought the twins home.
Oh,
Whenever we were like in charge of them by ourselves.
Yeah.
They
You're like,
they were 2 weeks old, right? And I just remember laying down in the bed with Jared and like they both started crying and we just grabbed each other's hands and we're like
yeah, and the season goes so quickly, like it, but it doesn't feel like that when you're in it. But then you look up and you're like, wait a second, like where are my babies? They're gone. You know, like
they're
it
almost
just
3.
yes.
Crazy.
So stop beating yourself up so badly.
Well,
Just-
I want to add, as somebody who's not a working mom, that I have to ask myself, is what I'm doing right now, can that wait?
Yeah.
And can I go and give my child attention? And that's a really hard thing for me to do. But I've been really proud of myself because I even had to call Josh and tell him this. I was like, Josh, I left the house and I took the kids somewhere and the house was a mess. But you know what? It's okay because it's still going to be there when I get back. And
Yeah.
Good job.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about this and mom guilt, I was thinking, how can we turn this guilt into grace? And grace for ourselves, grace for each other, grace for the other moms in our lives. Because the truth is, we show up as the best version of ourselves when we are not heavy burdened with guilt. We've got to create the patterns in our lives that help us choose the better part. And I was looking at the scriptures because that's where I always go to try and find wisdom. And I was just drawn to the story of Mary and Martha and how when Christ comes, there's 2 sisters, the sisters of Lazarus. You have Martha, who is running around like crazy, wanting to make sure everyone's fed and everything's clean. And then you have Mary that is just sitting at the feet of the Savior. And I love this story because Martha goes to the Savior like we all would do and be like, Jesus, she's not doing anything. Like, can you make my
She's not
sister
helping.
get up and be helpful? Like, there are things
Then
to
we can
do,
both sit at the feet of the Savior.
Yeah.
right? But he says, no, she has chosen the better part. So going forward in your endeavors as a mom and as a parent, look for the better part. Wherever and whatever that looks like. Sometimes the better part is going to be a work deadline so you can provide for your family. But sometimes that better part is going to walk away from the mounds of laundry and just read a book together, or have them tell you about their day, or decide that you want to go walk to the park. And I think that that is the key to overcoming mom guilt, is just look at it for what it is. Recognize how it's not helpful, take the good piece from it, and then choose the better part.
Love it. Sounds like a recipe for success.
It does sound like a recipe for success. So our reflection question for this week is, where do you need to let go of guilt and rest in God's way? What better part can you choose? So just take a moment and think about that. And until next time,
Keep striving. We'll see y'all soon.
now it's time for the bloopers. So that'll be awesome.
Is it an app or is it like a separate?
It's an app. So you watch.
And there's
you
just
can watch
movies
the
on
movie
it?
in Yeah. Okay. They don't have everything, but it's close.
They got a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. You just do a subscription?
No, you just ask me for my password and thing, and I will let you have it. I know. I mean, we're
Even
cutting all
home
this out
now.
anyways. Just tell me.
Look out for Lindsay's password in the comments.
Take out all the things Megan out
For
of
the
there that
username,
made
you
us
have to listen to the next episode.
that would get us canceled. Okay.
Got it.
Got it. Thanks.